meddle in our elections, going as far back as 2014?
I think prior to 2014, Eamon, I think we were lulled into a kind of complacency for a number of reasons. Chief among them, in the 1990s, Russia was kind of flat on its back. We were trying to actually help it, and we had, I would say, close to friendly relations with the regime of that time under Boris Yeltsin. So that we weren't quite prepared as a government for what Putin brought in after he becomes president in 1999. The United States also tends to feel overconfident in the world, particularly when we looked at how bad off Russia was then. In truth, you can trace these techniques back to the 1980s when Russians were, in that period, in the Soviet period, were forging embassy cables and White House documents to suggest all sorts of things, that the United States was involved in the attempted assassination of the Pope, for example. So there was, prior to 2014, a lot of evidence that Russians know how to do this, and they do this sort of thing. They have new tools today. But I think that Post article was quite right in saying that it was the incursion into Crimea. That was a sort of a mixture of cyber and special operations and propaganda and psychological warfare and Wolverine men that really showed the Russian hand for the first time vividly.
John, do you think that this administration, the Trump administration, understands that and is dealing with that threat seriously, especially as we're going into 2018 and possibly 2020?
No, I do not. I think there are some nascent efforts underway, but frankly, I mean, there are a lot of things we could be doing. The Europeans are way ahead of us in understanding this problem and in doing something about it. Lots of examples. I mean, the EU, for example, has a committee that's exposed about 2,000 fake Russian documents. We have nothing like that going on here. So, in terms of our administration, frankly, until the president himself clearly articulates that this cannot go on, says so to the Russians in a very direct way, and directs our government to do everything it can to combat this, I don't think we're going to pursue this with the energy and the vigor that it requires before 2018. It really requires a presidential lightning bolt to mobilize everyone, and I don't see that coming.
I was going to say, it's hard to imagine that given the president has been at odds with the intelligence community's assessment of Russia's involvement in this, and now going after the FBI, which certainly leads counterterrorism efforts inside this country. John McLaughlin, it's great to talk to you. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks, Simon.
All right, coming up, slash and burn. UN Ambassador Nikki Haley announces a major cut to the UN budget for next year, days after saying the U.S. would no longer be taken advantage of. What does that actually mean, though, for the future of the United Nations? And pipe dream, North Korea says they won't cave to U.S. demands of giving up their nuclear arsenal. Why they're now accusing the U.S. of launching an act of war. This is Andrea Mitchell reports only on MS.